That's some of the most important knowledge that there is self-knowledge. And then the other knowledge that's been hidden is the knowledge about how the universe works, particularly the spiritual laws of the universe. See, when we start to understand the causal factor lies in ignorance, we're making a diagnosis about the causal factors of the problem. We're not just treating the symptoms. And if you just look at the word diagnosis, that's the first step of healing. You got to make a diagnosis about what's wrong. What these laws, these spiritual laws ultimately do is they govern the consequences of our behavioral decisions. When we make a choice that is in keeping with these spiritual laws, therefore, that behavior is actually a right under this natural law or spiritual law, then we receive one particular set of results. When we act in opposition to these laws, and therefore we are acting immorally, and we are not taking behaviors that are our right to take, we receive a completely different set of results. It's very, very simple. I simply call the laws that govern whether a society is free or not, the law of freedom. Freedom and morality are directly proportional to each other. As morality increases in any given society, the freedom of that society will also increase. As morality in any given society declines or goes on the wane, then the freedom of that society will also decline, and that society will go ever more toward tyranny and enslavement. True freedom can never exist in a society that embraces the concept or the ideology of moral relativism. This is the main problem that is driving our society into tyranny and slavery. Moral relativism, again, is the idea that there is no inherent and objective difference between right or wrong behavior. So humanity may be the arbiters of that. We can decide what right and wrong, or decide for ourselves through our whims, our likes, our preferences, what right and wrong are for ourselves, that they're not objective standards of behavior that are set in spiritual law. So the real solution is to understand natural law, the universal spiritual laws that govern the consequences of our behavioral choices, whether we choose morality or immorality. The only way we're ever going to get out of this mess that we've worked ourselves into is to become truly moral beings and to increase morality throughout our entire society. That's when we'll make progress toward true freedom. Most people don't really understand what the ideology of Satanism is. They think it's about devil worship. It has nothing to do with the worship of the Christian notion of the devil. Satanism basically has four main tenets or overarching principles of belief, and that is that self-preservation is the highest goal, and you should do whatever you can to advance your personal power and influence in the world, no matter who you really have to walk all over, step on, or hurt to get what you want. That's really the number one tenet. And if you look at society, most of society is stuck in that cutthroat dog-eat-dog mentality. Moral relativism is the second major tenet, which is the idea that there's really no such thing as objective standards of right and wrong behavior, that we as human beings can get to basically decide upon our whims what right and wrong are, and base our actions accordingly. And if you look at most of society, I would say more people than not are moral relativists than moral objectivists who think that there is an objective standard of right and wrong behavior. So that's also very pervasive in society. The third major tenet is social Darwinism, the idea that the most ruthless in society have some sort of a predetermined or predestined right to basically rule over everybody else in society because their genetics got them there and, made them fit for rulership. And, many people will actually think like that and think that that's okay, that that's just the natural order or the way things are, so that's also very pervasive in our society. And finally, the fourth main pillar of Satanism is eugenics, the idea that those who are socially fit to rule and they're the fittest in society and therefore they've come out on top and they're ruling the roost, well, they can get to decide who basically propagates their genes and who does not, or in other words, who gets to live and who dies, who must die.
The first one is stupidity. That's the first satanic sin. Okay? For the dark occultist, but they want other people in deep stupidity. They want other people in deep ignorance. The idea here is we will know it all. We will know the truth so that we can control others and keep them a dumbed-down herd. Okay? There's a bunch of other ones, but I think the second or third is solipsism.